Maybe I'll get like 1 or 2 or 3, 3 blushes. That doesn't sound like enough though, it doesn't sound like enough. I don't know. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. Have you noticed an improvement in the sound quality? I got a freaking microphone. My boyfriend actually got it for me for Christmas. And yeah, I feel like it's really about to up my video game. It's 2021, baby. It's the first video of 2021. I hope you're having a good year so far. I know it's only been a day, but I hope you're having a good year. You know what? Let's just talk about my earrings, because look at these cute earrings. My boyfriend got these for me for Christmas as well. He really killed it with Christmas this year. Incredible gifts all around. Really good stuff. But these earrings look like little frosted sugar cookies. Oh my gosh, they're from Forest Fable. They are a small business. You should absolutely check them out. They make the cutest little food themed earrings and they're just so sweet. I love them so much. But that's not what this video is about. You did not click on this video to listen to me brag about all of the incredible Christmas gifts I got. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in my makeup inventory for 2021. So a couple of videos ago, somebody commented asking if I would do a makeup inventory, because that's videos they were very into right now. And like a lot of people gave that comment a thumbs up, and by a lot, I think it was like 8 people. But you know what? That's like more thumbs up on comments than I normally get. And I was like, what the heck even is a makeup inventory? I don't even know what that is. And then lucky for me, my friend Kyla Fish here on YouTube posted a video talking about her makeup inventory, and I watched it and I was like, oh, okay. So basically a makeup inventory is taking stock of everything in your collection, category by category, counting everything up so you can get an idea for how much makeup you have in your collection. And I found that video incredibly helpful. I will link Kyla's video down below because it was super great. She's really great. You should go subscribe to her. But I thought it would be a really smart idea for going into 2021, you know? Taking stock of what I have before I buy a bunch of new makeup, because I'm trying not to buy a ton of new makeup this year because I definitely feel like I bought a lot in 2020. You know, I feel like that's something we can all relate to, being in quarantine, being stuck at home. It was, you know, it was fun to buy stuff. Online shopping is retail therapy, you know, I definitely partook in that quite a bit. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff, so I'm very interested to see how many things I have in each category. I feel like I'm going to be absolutely horrified at my eyeshadows, but you know what? You live and you learn, and you take inventory, you take stock, and you hope to do a little better next year. So if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you and you want to see me take stock of my makeup inventory for 2021, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching. It's coming at you right now. You know what's exciting? 2022, because that way I'll be able to go 2022 and it'll be accurate because of my peace signs. It's fine. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, so the first category in my makeup inventory is gonna be primer. And if you're not new to my channel, then you know I'm not a huge fan of primers. I did not try many primers this year because I think for the most part primers are a scam. Although I was convinced otherwise with one primer that was recommended by one of my subscribers, Rosa. Shout out to you, you are amazing. She recommended the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer to me, and I bought it, and I've been freaking loving it. This is a fantastic primer. I know I'm not supposed to like talk about the individual products, or it doesn't seem like something people do in the inventory, but I only have one item in this category, so I just want to tell you real quick, I love this primer, and that is the only primer I have. So I have one primer in my collection. We'll see if I have any more next year. I don't really know. Like I said, I feel like primers are a scam, so I'm not super interested in other primers. I do have a couple of moisturizers on my desk here, but I don't really, and I use them as primers, but I don't really think those should count in the primer category because I also use them as moisturizers. So we're only counting this one primer. Look how I'm holding it. Category 1 of inventory is primer 1. So my next category is foundation, and for foundations I only have 4 in this category, which I feel like is pretty good. You know, 4 foundations, that's not too many foundations. I don't think anyone would argue that that's a lot of foundations, and I don't know if I'll have more next year. I'm not super looking to increase my foundation collection. I mean, I know I'll have at least one less because I don't like the Rare Beauty foundation. I don't think I would repurchase this. I don't know if I ever will finish it. I might try to save it for the summer because I do feel like it worked a little better for me in the summertime, but I don't foresee myself myself repurchasing that one. I would like to try some new foundations in the new year. I'm not somebody who likes to have a bunch of foundations at once. I definitely like to have one that's a little more full coverage and one that's a little lighter coverage, but I don't feel like I need like a million different finishes as options, you know? I know I like a dewy foundation, so I like all of my foundations to at least look dewy. I do kind of like a variety of coverage, but that's really it. I don't know, foundation's not a category that I'm like, ooh, let me try all of them, unless there's like a new exciting dewy foundation that comes out this year that I really want to try. I don't foresee this category getting a whole lot bigger, but who knows, I may look back at this video in 2022. In 2022, yes, so excited to be able to use my peace signs, cool. But who knows, maybe I'll look back in 2022 and be like, wow, what a fool, I bought so many foundations. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but for now, I have 4 foundations. Alright, so for the next category, we have concealer. You're gonna see the beginning part of this video and be like, does this girl even have a lot of makeup? She has like 2 things in every category. But I promise you, once we get to eyes, it's gonna be a bit obscene. But for concealers, I only have 2, I mean technically 2. This is a concealer palette. It's the Conceal Correct Contour palette from NYX. I am in love with it. I definitely will probably purchase one of these next year for sure, because I've hit pan on almost 4 of the shades. I've hit pan on 3 out of the 4. Completely panned one of them. I love this, and I think this is great. I'm not actively seeking a new concealer. I don't know, maybe if a drugstore brand comes out with a new cream concealer, I'd be interested in trying it. And then I also have the NYX Total Coverage Stick, which I was hoping would be similar to the formula in here, but easier for me to just purchase one shade at a time. But unfortunately, it's not quite as creamy, so I probably won't repurchase this again. But for now, I have 2 concealers, and concealer is not a category I'm super looking to expand upon. I'm kind of happy with what I have right now, but the same with foundation. Unless like a really exciting hydrating base product comes out, I'm not actively looking to expand that category a whole lot. So 2 concealers. Alright, moving on to setting powders. I have 1. I've had it for like 2 years now. Is that too long? Does it have an expiration date? Oop, it got scratched off. Oh well, that means it lasts forever, right? So I just have the Ciate Extraordinary Setting Powder. I got this in an Ipsy bag like what feels like 2 years ago. It may be a little less than that, but I've had this forever. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. The thing with like base products, aside from foundation and concealer, like, I mean, I guess I find them exciting, but most base products I don't find super exciting, you know? Until we get to like blush, I'm just kind of like, okay, put the foundation on, put the concealer on, do we have coverage? Great, okay. And then I get excited when I get to add things like blush and highlight and bronzer, but I just don't get super excited over base products, especially setting powder, because I really only use it to set my under eyes and my concealer, and this one is not great. My mascara literally transfers every single day, so if you have a good setting powder to recommend, I'd love to hear it. Maybe I'll get more excited over setting powders if I have a good one to use. But for now, I only have 1 setting powder, so I'm definitely looking to expand that in the new year. I don't know if I'll end up with a bunch of them by next year, but I at least want to try a couple new ones for sure. Okay, now moving on to bronzers. I only have 1 cream bronzer, and it's the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer Stick. I definitely don't think I'm gonna super increase my cream bronzer collection for next year, because just to be honest, I've realized I prefer powder bronzer. I find cream bronzer to be a bit of a hassle. I know I've mentioned before, I just need to get a better cream bronzer brush, because right now I don't have a good one, so I usually apply it with my fingers, and I find that it gets pretty messy and it doesn't look great on me. I don't know, maybe I need to find a better cream bronzer, because I don't hate this one. I just don't love it. I used to think it was a little more neutral, but now I have bronzers that I like the tone better of, so I don't know, maybe I'll seek more cream bronzers in the new year. Like maybe if one comes out that I really like the tone of, I'd be interested in buying it, but for now I'm not super interested in increasing my cream bronzer collection, so I'm fine with just having 1. But the powder bronzes, yeah, I came into a few this year and I love all of them so much. I have this one from the Lip Bar, their blush and bronzer duo, which I love so much. This is great. I also have my Milani Baked Bronzer that I love so much and is great, super glowy and beautiful. I use this one probably the most out of all of them. And then I have my Dawn Face Palette from Midas Cosmetics, which I'm gonna have to include this in a few categories. I could have done a palette category, but I don't really feel like I have enough for a whole palette category, but I do use the bronzer bronzer in here quite a bit. I love it a lot. Also has a contour in here. I didn't really make a contour category because I only have this one, so I'm including it in the bronzer contouring. I kind of do that step all together. Sometimes I rub my brush between the two of these, so I don't really feel like I need to do a separate category. But yeah, so for bronzers, I have 4 total, 3 of which are powder and 1 of which is a cream bronzer, and I definitely can see my powder bronzers expanding in the new year because I've gotten very into bronzer this year, and I love looking glowy, I love looking fresh. I feel like I really discovered what tone I like in a bronzer this year, because last year I was still like, meh. This is the first year I've actually enjoyed the step of bronzer in my makeup routine. It used to be something that I just like did real quick to say I did it, you know? We all have steps in our routine, like I was just talking about with setting powder, that we go through it just to say we did it, just to have done it. But this year I actually get excited about bronzer because I found so many good bronzers this year. So I definitely feel like my inventory of bronzers will probably be a little bit bigger next year. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully I just get like 1 or 2. But you never know. We'll see. It's 2021, baby. Anything could happen. Okay, moving on to blush. This is where the categories start to get a bit large indeed. But we'll start with my cream blushes. I have 4. 1 of them is a liquid. I'm counting it as cream because I only have 1 of them. It's not a solid. It's not a powder. It is a cream-ish. So we're counting my Rare Beauty liquid blush in the cream blush category. I have 2 cream blushes from Honest Beauty. I have 1 lip and cheek, which is from Milk Makeup. I like cream blush. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm super looking to expand that category because kind of like with bronzer, I don't know. I just like the application of a powder blush. I like the look of a dewy blush. Like I love the look of a dewy blush, but I've been more into like blush draping lately. I think that's the right term when you put it like more on like the outer portion of your cheekbones and you put it a little bit up here. And of course you can do that with cream blush, but kind of like with cream bronzer, I just feel like I don't have good brushes for it right now. So who knows, if in the new year I decide to get some better cream brushes, then maybe I'll be more into cream blush. And I'm still into cream blush, so don't get it twisted, okay? I love cream blush, but I'm not sure if I'm super looking to expand right now. Because also Kyla mentioned this in her video too. Cream products tend to go bad faster just because, they get more access to the bacteria, like they're FBI agents and they have little headsets on and they're like,
yes, the bacteria can pass through now.
But they go bad faster, so I like that the powders don't go bad as fast. I definitely bought more powders this year than I did cream blushes, and I feel like that pattern's gonna continue into the new year. So maybe I'll get like 1 or 2 or 3 two more cream blushes next year. But I don't know, it's also hard to predict, I think it's fun to try to predict where I'll increase my collection, but I really don't know when it comes to cream blush. But for now, I have 4. And then for powder blushes, oh boy, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, technically 6 if you count my blush palette as 1, but if you count my blush palette as individuals, then 11. And wow, saying 11 blushes out loud sounds a little bit obscene, but you know what? I love blush. I love to have options for my blushes. I don't have any 2 blushes that are the same tone, I feel like. Even if they're the same tone, they're different finishes. So I don't feel bad about having that many blushes. I won't apologize for having that many blushes. And you know what? I'm probably gonna have a lot more next year because I just love blush so much. I love powder blush. Like I just mentioned, I love doing the blush draping thing. I have 11 powder blushes right now, 4 cream blushes. Does that bring me up to 15 blushes? Of course it does. Is that an obscene number? No, I won't hear that as an option. I don't think it's obscene. It's a little obscene. That's a lot of blush. I probably don't need to buy too much more blush next year. I'm gonna try to limit myself, try not to buy too much, but you know what? If a brand comes out with a beautiful luminous blush, what am I just not gonna buy it? No, of course not. I have to. I don't have a choice. If they make it sound irresistible, then I'm not gonna be able to resist it, So yeah, my blush collection is probably gonna increase this year. Hopefully I can finish one, maybe, I don't know. I know I've heard it's really hard to pan blushes. This CoverGirl blush is in my project pan because I've already had it for a while and I haven't even hit pan on it. Oh god. Maybe I shouldn't buy any more blushes, but I love blushes. They're so beautiful. I'll try not to buy too many this year. Maybe I'll try to limit myself to like 3 blushes. That doesn't sound like enough though. It doesn't sound like enough. I don't know. I don't want to make predictions on how many blushes I'm gonna have next year, but I know it's gonna be a lot. But right now I have 15. All right, so moving on to highlight. Highlight is kind of an interesting category here because I have a couple products that are liquids that I use more as mixing mediums than necessarily always highlights on their own. Like I have the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter for Hollywood Superstar Youth Glow that I love, 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 and I use kind of more as like a strobing cream. Like I put it on with my foundation. Sometimes I'll mix it into my foundation. Sometimes I put it on directly over, and then I still go over with a powder highlight. So it's like kind of like a luminous primer for me, but also kind of like a highlight. You know the deal. And then I have this liquid highlight from e.l.f., which I was hoping would be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. It is not. It is much oilier. I also use this as a mixing medium. Sometimes I'll mix it in with more matte foundations to make them more luminous, but I have 2 liquid highlights. And then I guess I could include this in the same category. I have 1 cream highlight. It's the Milk Holographic Highlighter Stick. I love this a whole bunch. I always forget to wear it because I usually only wear it when I'm wearing like cream bronzers and blushes, just because I don't know, how does it go over powder? I don't really know. I haven't tried that in a while. Maybe I need to try that this year and see if it looks okay over powder, but it's very balmy, so I feel like it wouldn't, but I don't know. I'm probably not gonna buy too many more. I don't know. I feel bad saying anything, because if I do buy it, then I'll look like a fool. No, I won't. I won't look like a fool. It's fine. I'll look fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it, okay? But I don't know. Maybe I'll buy another cream highlight this year. I've gotten more into powder highlights this year. Who am I with all these powder products? If you talked to me last year, I would have been like, oh, powder products, no thanks. But this year I'm like, powder products, give them all to me. But I have 1 cream highlight, 2 liquid highlights. I technically have 3 powder highlights, one of which is a duo. I'm only counting that as one though, because they're like right next to each other and I use them together. It's the Pixie duo. I use those together. I'm counting it as one. Then I have the highlight in the Dawn palette, which I love. And then I have my Fenty Diamond Balm, which is advertised as a highlight. I rarely use it as a highlight. I usually use it on my eyes. Sometimes I'll use it as a brow bone highlight because it's very, very sparkly, but I will include it in the highlighter category because that is what the product is. Like I said, I use a lot of products for different things. I don't follow like makeup norms, you know? I'm not like other makeup artists. I don't always use products how they're intended to be used, but this is technically a highlighter, so I will include it in this category. So I have 3 powder highlights and 3 cream/liquid highlights, so I have 6 highlights. I don't think that number will really change much next year. I don't think I need that many because I really only like one type of highlighter look. You know, I like a natural looking highlight, or I like more of a pink looking highlight, although I do kind of want to try the Kaleidos ones next year. Oh, I hope I have some Kaleidos highlighters next year, but I feel like I'll do a one in, one out situation. Like I'm not gonna try to buy a bunch of new highlights without getting rid of at least a couple, because I definitely don't use all of these. Like I really just go back and forth between a couple of them. So hopefully that number doesn't get bigger. Hopefully it gets a little smaller maybe, or at least stays the same. But for now I have 6 highlights. All right, real quick setting sprays. I have one. It's the Force Ray Beauty Glisten Up Mist. It's my favorite setting spray. I don't know, maybe I'll have more next year. Setting spray is another one of those things that I do, but I don't get super excited over, so maybe I'll have 2 next year. I don't know. I'd like to try a new one for sure, because this is like my 3rd bottle of this and I really like it, but you know, I'd like to try some more things, but I just don't foresee this category getting a whole lot bigger, because for now I have 1 and I love it. Okay, so now we're getting into eye products, which is where things are gonna start to get very obscene. These are my eyeshadow palettes. There they are. You don't need to see them in detail. No, of course. Here's a detailed shot of the obscene amount of eyeshadow palettes I have, and I didn't separate them into big or small just because the really only tiny one I have is the Natasha Denona one, which has 5 pans, but the rest of them have at least 9 shades. Okay, so I have 13 eyeshadow palettes. That's too many, dude. Oh no, I didn't realize I had that many eyeshadow palettes, but it's okay because there's definitely a couple that I foresee myself decluttering soon. The Tati Beauty one is not going to be with me much longer. I never reach for that one. I have another neutral palette in here that I don't ever reach for that I will probably give away to somebody. And the Jackie Aina palette is getting older, so you know what? Yeah, this is more than I wanted it to be. I don't know what's gonna happen next year because I do love eyeshadow. I try not to buy repetitive palettes. Like I do feel like I have a pretty good range of different colors. Obviously there is some overlap, but I've just gotten super into indie makeup brands this year and trying their eyeshadow formulas, and they're all so good. So I'm gonna try to do a one in, one out situation at least. I mean, hopefully my number goes down, but I'm also being realistic and I know that it's not going to go down, but hopefully it doesn't go up too much. Like I said, I know I'm gonna declutter a couple of these palettes, so maybe I can do a one in, one out situation. Like, you know, every time I declutter an eyeshadow palette, I'm allowed to buy a new one. That's a fun rule. I like that rule for myself. Maybe that'll be my rule. We'll see. But for now, I do have 13 eyeshadow palettes. Ooh, lucky 13. Yeah, we gotta keep it there. It's a lucky number. What the heck? Of course, 13 eyeshadow palettes. Totally reasonable. Okay, so now looking at my single shadows, these are a little hard to measure because I do have a little palette of single shadows, and some of them were bought as singles. Well, one of them was this one here from Colored Rain is an actual single I purchased, but all of the others are shadows that I've just taken from palettes that I deconstructed because I didn't like most of them. So you got some Morphe shadows in here, some ColourPop shadows, but I'm only gonna really count this one as a single because that's also the only one I really use. I'm probably gonna end up decluttering the rest of these just because I don't really ever touch them. But then I do have 4 pigments here. I have 2 from ColourPop and 2 from Dawn Eyes Cosmetics, so I am gonna count those 4 pigments towards my single shadows. And then I also have a singular chrome paint from Tarte that I'm gonna count in there, which I never use, even though it's beautiful and I should, but I never use this. So I guess I'm counting the 1 from Colored Rain, my 4 pigments, and my Tarte one. That is 6 single shadows. Okay, so it actually turned out to be 8 because I forgot I have a liquid eyeshadow from the Lip Bar and I had a little Color Strike eyeshadow from Maybelline. So 8 single shadows. Hopefully that number goes up next year because I'd love to buy more like single shadows and maybe less palettes, hopefully. Maybe that's something I can do. Future self, maybe you want to do that. That could be good for you. Don't spend as much money. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? I certainly don't ever claim to. So for now, I have 6 single shadows. Okay, so now we get into water activated liners. And if you're not new to my channel, you know that this is a category that I take great pleasure in expanding. I love water activated liners. I am still always actively pursuing more water activated liners, and I have 47 of them. Yep, so you know, it's probably gonna go up. I'm just being realistic with myself, but I'll also probably finish a couple, you know, so it'll probably go down and then way up. I mean, if you want to count this palette as one, then I only have 39. Only 39? I only have 39. What are you talking about? What is that, like a big number? Jeez, God, just like stop grilling me, you know? I know it's a lot, but that is my favorite category of makeup. Doing eyeshadow and doing eyeliner is my favorite part of my makeup routine. I'll try not to buy too many. I don't want it to get too much bigger, but what if it got a little bigger? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll aim to have like 50 next year because here's the deal. I really use them. There's pan in a lot of them. Like, I get use out of these liners, man. Like, I am really using the heck out of them, so I don't feel horrible about having so many, and I have a lot of different shades. There's a couple of repeats because you'll have that, but I don't mind having repeats of shades because I use them so much and I love them so much. So yeah, I'm being realistic. The category will get bigger and I just have to be fine with that. But I love it so much and it's something I'm very passionate about, so I actually think it's fine. So yeah, I have 47 water activated liners and I won't be shamed for it. So before I get into lip products, there's a couple just like random singles of things that I have that I guess I'll note for my future self in case these categories get bigger. But I have one face and body paint palette that I don't use a ton, but I do have. I have one brow gel, my e.l.f. Wow Brow, that I love. I don't know if I'll have more next year. It's not a category I'm super passionate about having a lot of. I have one brow pencil, my L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. It's my favorite brow pencil. I don't foresee myself getting too many more, but you never know, so I'm noting it. And one mascara, my Essence Lash Princess. I don't like to have a lot of mascaras at once just because they dry out, you know? I don't want to be using multiples at the same time. I like to use one at a time. So this is like my one in one categories of things that I don't have a lot of. Oh, I have 5 face stamps. I know that sounds like a lot. Hopefully I won't have any more next year. Hopefully I can get rid of some before I get some new ones because I do have some repeat shades and I really don't like the ColourPop ones, so those will probably be decluttered very, very soon. But just noting that I have 5 face stamps. Oh, and I have 3 lip liners. Hopefully I'll get some more next year. I don't know. I don't really use lip liner a whole lot. I have this one nude color from ColourPop that I like, but again, I don't use very often. And then I have a pink one and a pinkish red one from Illamasqua that I got in an Ipsy bag a while ago that I leave lying around just in case I need them, but I rarely use them. But I will note that I do have 3 lip liners. All right, lip products. Look at me. I only have 2 liquid lipsticks. They're both from Colored Rain. It's my favorite liquid lipstick formula. Look at what a small category. We love to see it. I have 5 bullet lipsticks and I am so happy with that. I don't really want any more than that. I'm not a huge bullet lipstick person, although I did discover this year that I love the ColourPop Velvet Blur lipstick so So maybe I'll have a couple more of those. Who knows? Who knows? But I'll also probably get rid of a couple. So 5 bullet lipsticks, I'm happy with that. I don't feel like I need a whole lot more than that because gloss and balms is where I really like to expand my categories. So, okay, you know what? I actually don't have too many lip balms. I have the Rare Beauty one, and then I have a ColourPop Just a Tint, and I have my Milk Kush Balm. Will I have some more lip balms next year? Yeah, probably. I already have a couple in the mail, so I know I will at least have a few more. But gloss, like I said, gloss is where I thrive. Gloss is where I have the most things, so I don't foresee my lip balm collection getting too much bigger. Right now I do have 3. All right, lip glosses. I have a lot of lip glosses. Oh my god, I didn't realize how many I had until I counted them and realized there were 21 of them. Okay, that is a lot of lip glosses. Oh my god, that's overwhelming. That's overwhelming to say the least. A lot of them are minis. I will defend myself for a moment here. Like, you're gonna sit here and tell me that I have to be ashamed for having 4 very tiny lip glosses? No, I won't hear that. A lot of them are minis, so you know what? I'll get through them. These Tower 28 minis are actually like a little too obscenely mini, and I have been going through them quickly, so I know I'm gonna get through at least a few of these lip glosses, especially the minis for sure. I'm honestly trying to only buy minis from now on because it takes me so long to get through a gloss because I have so many of them. Even when I was using only a couple of glosses, I still feel like I very rarely ever finished a gloss, so I'm trying to buy more minis of glosses. But I can't believe I have 21 glosses. Wow, really makes you think. This is like an intervention with myself, like making myself say the numbers out loud so that I feel shameful for it. However, I am gonna try to buy less next year. I bought a lot of sets this year. You know, I really feel like I did a lot of deep diving into discovering my preferences for lip gloss formulas this year, and I think that's great. I know what I like now. Am I, of course, gonna try new formulas next year? Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully my collection doesn't get too much bigger. I don't know though, no promises. All right, moving on. Okay, just a couple more odds and ends here and then I'll wrap up. I do have one loose glitter here from Dawn Eyes Cosmetics that I love and probably intend to go back and get more, but for now I only have one. And then I have one Freckle Pen. I don't really see a need to have more than one Freckle Pen, but I might have more next year. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of having a couple different colors to make them look a little more realistic, but who knows. But for now I only have one. So those are just a couple loose ends I wanted to tie up there. All right, and with that, we have reached the end of my makeup inventory. I am gonna count up everything individually when I do my product shots and everything, and I will put the total number of makeup items I have on the screen here. Is it an obscene number? Let me know in the comments down below if it's a very shameful number. Oh god, I'm sure it's a lot of stuff. It's really hard to quantify makeup, you know, especially when there's products that intersect categories. Like I have some products that are actually advertised for lip and cheek, not just things I use as multiple categories. So it's like, how do you count stuff, you know? So this is an approximate number of how many things I have. Keep in mind, a lot of things are very tiny, a lot of things are very small, a lot of things came in sets, a lot of things belong in palettes, but either way, I know it's too much. Hopefully my number doesn't get too much bigger next year. Oh, I don't know. I really want to try to do the 1 in 1 out rule with most things. I know I said I'd do it with eyeshadow palettes, but I should really try to do it with like everything except maybe eyeliners, because I'm not getting rid of any of my eyeliners. Oh my god, are you kidding me? I love them all. They're my children. Maybe with like lip gloss, I'll try to finish up a lip gloss before I buy a new lip gloss, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do. But this was fun. This was humbling for sure. I'm much humbler now than I was at the beginning of this video an hour ago. So yeah, I guess that's a big win, but this was fun. I hope you liked it. Did you enjoy getting to see everything? I know there's some products I kind of talked about and gave like brief little reviews, and other products I didn't, but I have so many videos on my channel talking about all of these products. I mean, you can look at my decluttering series, you can look at my reviews. I have a million reviews on all of these things. I'll link a bunch of corresponding videos down below if you want like more information on anything you've seen in any of these videos, because I definitely have talked about a lot of these products at length already, so I didn't want to be too repetitive today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Oh my gosh, it's 2021 and you're not subscribed to my channel. I hope that you will consider subscribing. Check out my description box for everything on my face today and links to check out these earrings, because oh my gosh, they are so cute. And I also have a bunch of Black Lives Matter resources in my description box. I have petitions to sign, places to donate, and ways to help protesters. So please click on those links if you have the time. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!